service we made impact. I'm not saying any of that. I'm saying for me, it had became an idol, and for me, it was a portal of which evil spirits were able to operate and have access in my life. God showed me that. It was undeniable for me, right?
Yeah.
But I believe God can redeem anything, and He used that influence, because of really that process, and now being known as Travis the Kappa, I was able to bring revival to Georgia Southern University. Dozens, if not hundreds, of people were saved, spirit filled, literally. My whole senior year, I was a revivalist on campus. I mean, and anyone who was around back then, at Georgia Southern, 05, 06, they'll tell you that I'm telling the truth, so God was able to use that. So I think God can redeem anything. And man, I'm not here to demonize anybody for anything that you're associated with or connected to. My whole thing is to inspect, because I believe that in the body of Christ, there are idols that we have tolerated, whatever that is, man, and that's the other thing that I tell people. It's not the only thing I talk about.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Unfortunately, it's the thing that's going, that's picked up steam. But I mean, there's so many other idols that I think we have to be aware of as people of God that we have tolerated and we've just made okay that God never agreed with.
Oh man, I love what you said, man. I personally, I've done my research, and I've developed my thoughts. Before I used to be kind of neutral. Now I'm swinging more on I'm a lot more skeptical based on what I'm seeing, based on what people are saying. I sat with people across from me and the things that I've heard, and I'm just like, man, as a believer, I would not recommend a believer to step into that territory. And if I were anybody who has pledged, I would go straight to the Lord and say, God, show me my heart. Because personally, my issue is not. Here's the thing. If it were possible for people to denounce the oaths and still be a part of the organization, it would be great. Unfortunately, I think if you denounce the oaths, you're no longer part of the organization. And so for me, that's the part that, I mean, when I looked at the oaths and I look at all those things, I'm just like, some of these things, these altars, these things that are being said, I always give the example of, man, if people say, man, these fraternities are not bad because I never did nothing bad. There are people that's in fraternities that are virgins. There are people in fraternities that are not drinking, that are not smoking. But for me, I have now yoked myself, or unequally yoked myself, to people that are living lives that represent me in ways that I'm not okay with. And if I can't go into the organization and say, hey, look, I'm good with this if you allow me to at least renounce my oath part. Don't let everybody that come in say these parts. If we could just focus on the Lord and turn this into, just focusing on the Lord, then we'd be good. Unfortunately, that'll never happen. So for me, it's just like, I through the filter and the lenses of the Spirit right now, the way that the Lord gave you that urgency, I think that is unmistakable. And for me, I'm just thinking, like, for these young people, you are somebody that knew the Lord. You're exposed to the truth. Many people that are going into these organizations, they don't know. They don't know. And so they're coming in after long times of trying to memorize and all this stuff. And now they're taking in stuff that they never remember. You ask people, what did you say? I don't really even remember. I didn't say that. I didn't do that. I didn't go through that. I just think personally, especially now. 20 years ago, they let a lot of people slide. People we sanctify, we redeem. Lord redeemed us from it. But in this season, I don't think we can afford to just be so casual. So